Welcome back. United Airlines is attempting to reassure passengers following multiple flight and safety problems on its Boeing jets this year. The company vowing to add more training for pilots and technicians. In a memo to customers, CEO Scott Kirby writes this: "You can be confident that every time a United plane pulls away from the gate, everyone on our team is working together to keep you safe on your trip." United Airlines has had at least 10 incidents in the past 2 weeks, including one plane losing a tire shortly after takeoff. Joining me now is New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew, a member of the House Judiciary and Transportation Committees. Congressman, thanks very much for being here this morning. It's good to see you. We've had a lot of issues. We've had a lot of issues for planes, and certainly the Boeing planes, and a debacle there. What have you learned in your Transportation Committee, and what should we be understanding better about the oversight of these planes? It's gotten downright scary to fly these days.
It is. And, the CEO may be, saying that we should all be confident. Let me tell you, as a congressman who sits on the Transportation Committee, I am not confident. You know what I'm confident of, by the way? China is working hard. China is getting now, as you know, into the airline industry. China isn't worried about being a giant social experiment. They want to have the best planes, the fastest planes, the safest planes, the most cutting-edge planes. That should be the American policy and the American philosophy. That is what always the United States of America has stood up for, whether it was with our military or in our private sector. But now we're having a giant social experiment. We're globalizing. We are sending out and trying to get the cheapest parts and materials we can. And worst of all, we're having the social experiment within Boeing. They're more concerned, if you look at what they put online over the last few years, about DEI, and or are we looking like we're the cool kids on the block and all the right things to say. Damn it, if we're not careful, we're going to rely on China just as we are for our batteries for electric cars. Well, it's going to happen with as well. We're going to rely on China for our airlines. If I was to say anything, Maria, I would say to them, cut it out. Just worry about having the best and the safest planes.
This is incredible that you think that China is going to eat into the U.S.'s market share in terms of planes. But it's even more stunning that you think that Boeing has been using DEI practices and this new wokeism, and that is partly to blame for the mistakes, for the issues with planes. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, it is. I mean, when you hire somebody to work with you, at your news station, are you hiring the best person and the sharpest person, or are you worried about a range of other issues? The most important thing to people, all Americans, is that we have the safest and best planes. And if you look at a lot of the information, I've been talking about this for a couple of years. You got on the site for Boeing, and they were speaking more about all this other stuff than they really were talking about what's most important to every single American, regardless of who they are, what they believe, or where they're from, is to make sure they're in a safe airplane. Cut it out. Do your job. But this is happening, Maria, in the military as well. Unfortunately, in our budgets and our appropriations bills, chock full of all these bills in all different areas are all kinds of DEI requirements and personnel being hired for DEI. We're focusing on the wrong stuff. We're not a giant social.
Well, that is a major charge. Okay. That is a major charge on Boeing to say that they are focused on the wrong things in terms of hiring DEI woke people, and that has actually put them at a disadvantage and put safety in question. Cheryl Casoni, you were a flight attendant. I know that. Are you hearing that as well? That DEI is being put into the airlines right now?
Yeah, it's been discussed as far as the practices at Boeing within the plants as well. That whistleblower was also, it's the production capacity at Boeing and safety practices at the plants that is one of the big focuses, and that's DEI. But then the other issue, Congressman, is oversight by the FAA, and that's the federal level. That's where you and your colleagues can really make a difference here. The FAA has done, I think, a poor job of monitoring what's happening at these plants at Boeing, and then also the airlines, how they're maintaining the aircraft.
Well, we got to get back on target with this stuff. And I have been dealing and we'll keep discussing with the FAA. You know, in my district, we have one of the largest FAA and most important FAA facilities that does a range of different things. And by and large, a lot of good people that work there and are focused. But on all these issues, and it speaks to a bigger issue for a second. Is America going to be the country who still competes and is the best and is exceptional? Or are we going to fall into some kind of global economic mediocrity and production mediocrity? And that is what really matters now. Whether it's what we're doing with electric car batteries and in general, we're doing with China, going to be the best or not. I'm still hoping we're going to be the best. Got to cut this stuff out.
Yeah, it also raises the question, what does Beijing have on Joe Biden? And why is he so soft on communist China? Giving all this business, you know, this EV and climate change agenda, the batteries are made in China. So, again, we're becoming more reliant if, in fact, Joe Biden's agenda is going to permeate. Hunter Biden's business partner, meanwhile, Eric Schwerin, he's been described as the money man. Or an architect of those shell companies. He told lawmakers then Vice President Joe Biden would use the private email addresses RobinWare456 and Robert L. Peters to communicate with Schwerin. And Schwerin also said that a Biden grandchild may have put money in Joe Biden's checking account. I mean, this is just extraordinary. Schwerin told the committee in his testimony that he had access to Joe Biden's checking and corporate accounts through the end of 2017, and he never saw any loans made out to James or Sarah Biden. You know, as well as I know, that Joe Biden keeps saying that any money that he received was, quote unquote, a loan. Joe Biden received $40,000, quote unquote, loan repayment check from his sister-in-law in September of 2017, and another $200,000 check, which he's calling a loan repayment, from his brother in March of 2018, Congressman. So what's with all these loan repayments? This money went directly to Joe Biden. The Republicans say this is indications that Joe Biden is well aware and was involved in the influence peddling schemes. And Biden is saying it's just a loan. Your reaction?
It's so sad. First of all, Sherwin even said, he said during his testimony, during his deposition, that there was no paperwork. And remember, this is the man who did all the bookkeeping for Joe Biden. There's a few takeaways here. One, obviously, Joe Biden lied, even as president, when he said, I knew nothing about any of the businesses. Hundreds of communications with Hunter Biden and his business associates about the businesses. The way, which I think is really weird. You know, I happen to be a relatively new grandpop, you know, and what I found out is, truthfully, we're putting money into our grandchildren's accounts. They're not putting money into our accounts. I would think that most grandparents that are out there that speak with you would tell you that's kind of the way it works. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. That's kind of weird as well. The whole thing, there's so much smoke. There is fire. Obviously, the president and vice president didn't tell the truth. He's got these email aliases and private emails and all this communication going on. Come on.
Well, we're waiting for the criminal referrals. Congressman James Comer told me that he's going to be sending multiple criminal referrals to the DOJ. Congressman, we'll keep the conversation going and talk with you along the way. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you. Thank you.